Hello, welcome back to Faith and Arrow Homestead. My name is Jaylee, and in a recent video I pointed out to you that I am very stressed, working a lot, and YouTube has been falling to the wayside. A symptom of that is that there are certain tasks that have really been needing to get done, but they're tasks that I would normally film or feel like I should be filming, and the fact that I don't have time to accomplish those tasks and film them, but then feeling guilty because I should be filming them is keeping me from doing the tasks at all. And that we cannot continue that way. So what I'm gonna do, I'm outside. I have so much to do out here. I'm gonna just kind of take you around and show you what needs to be done, and just kind of leave you with the general statement that I'm going to do these things. And maybe I don't even do them all today. In fact, I probably won't. But I'm going to work on them over the next few days. And I just need to show you, this is where we're at. This is what the garden looks like before it gets put to bed. I'm not putting it to bed today because there are other things that need to be accomplished before that. So this is more late. Well, summer's over now, so late summer. It should have been late summer garden maintenance is really what this is. But now we're already into fall, and I'm just not doing it before I put it to bed because I'm not ready. We're not hitting freezing temps yet, and a lot of my stuff is still producing, so I'm gonna leave it until I absolutely have to take it out. So we're not putting it to bed. We're just doing some maintenance. So for starters, I started this tray forever ago, and it's looking really rough. So these are all cabbages, and they look okay. I think they'll pull through. They'll be all right. These have died. I bought these. They're dead. These are cauliflowers, I think. They're dead. These are cucumbers. They're dead. But I need to get these babies planted out. So we're going to be doing that hopefully today, if not today, very soon. Tomatoes are looking very, very rough. Really just so terrible. However, my sun sugars, the little orange ones you see here, are still putting on, and they're still delicious. And I've really appreciated having them because I've been able to just come outside on a really busy day and just grab some and snack on them, and I'm really grateful for that. So I am actually going to leave those for as long as I can, because once they're gone, and I have to wait till next season. However, when we come around here, these are my black cherry tomatoes, and it's awful. It's so bad because look at how they grew all the way up the trellis and over the trellis, which is amazing, very prolific. These needed to have been pruned. I should have pruned these is the thing, because they were putting on suckers on suckers on suckers, and I did prune them for like the whole first half of the season, the growing season. I was pruning them, and then it just got away from me, and so they got super big and bushy and full. And anytime you have a tomato plant that's like that and they're not properly pruned, you're going to start having disease, you're going to start having pests. Didn't really see any pests, but lots of disease, and it just started dying off. And you can see it's just, it's not good. The other part about this situation that I have not enjoyed is that it's been really stinky, because if you look here, the tomatoes have just been rotting on the vine because there's so many that I came out here and harvested bags and bags and bags and bags of these. I've got so many bags of these in my freezer. I couldn't possibly get to them all, and I gave up. So they've just been rotting on the vine, and it's so stinky. So that's not been fun because it's right by where my hose is, and so I have to come out here and smell it every morning. My raspberries put on their second flush. They always do an early spring and they always do a mid-spring flush and then a late summer, early fall flush. And it's so great to be able to come out here and still have some raspberries at this point in the year. You're about to see a true reflection of just how busy I've been, because this garden compound is a mess. Ooh, baby. Okay, let's just rip off the Band-Aid. Here we go. Ooh, baby. She is a mess. Look at that. Weeds growing everywhere. I have not deadheaded anything. We're going to have so many volunteers next year. Sorry, that bird. Oh my gosh. Oh, okay, I've got one singular little elderberry. That's funny. Yeah, absolute disaster. I haven't come and harvested peppers in weeks. They're probably overloaded. I can already see several. My herbs are looking rough. And I just have so much that I need to come and take out that's dead. These are those cucumbers though. So here's what happened, and I did not tell you guys about this. So in that tray that I showed you, I had started cucumbers. Those 2 dead cucumber plants were ones that I just didn't have room for, and I just left them in the tray. I have such terrible luck with like bunnies, and I also had really bad luck with slugs in the beginning of the season, and I didn't know what they would look like late in the season. So I planted them with these like cut up water bottles on them when they were little to protect them from slugs or rabbits, and it worked. And they are really, oh look, I even have a baby cucumber on here. They've done so well. They're growing super well. I think our first estimated frost is October 18th, and I don't believe cucumbers are frost hardy, so I don't know if I'm even going to get anything off of them, but made me feel like I was doing something to plant them. So it'll be okay. Oh wow, I'm seeing so many jalapenos as I'm sitting here. Oh, there's so much to do out here. Yeah, so anyway, there's that. There's the cucumbers. I just didn't show you that because I literally came out here one day and just planted it. One of the things on my list to do today is to harvest this basil because as you can see, I've mostly missed my chance. A lot of it looks really bad. Oh, this is why you don't want to clear out your garden too early because the bees are still in here using what I have, even though, I mean, look at this. This plant looks terrible, but there are still bees in here on it that need it. So I try to wait until the very last minute to clear out my garden. But anyway, there's still some basil on here that's perfectly edible and good. And so I'll come and harvest all of this. I'll just pull it all out because it's done. It's not going to get any better. It's only going to get worse. So I'm going to cut these down today, and I'm going to put whatever is good and edible in my dehydrator. I've already preserved quite a bit of basil, but I always run out of it because I just use so much of it. So I'm going to get what I can get off of this and get it out of here. This is on my list to do today. I should have done this a lot sooner, but here we are. I needed to do it with oregano too. I don't think there's much that's salvageable in here. It's mostly totally gone to seed. But I'll look through here. It looks like there might be some down there, and I'll harvest what I can and put it in the dehydrator. Yeah, it looks like there's a little bit. I'll have to come grab what I can grab. Tomatoes, hello. Oh no. Done. KO. Look at how terrible that looks. Hang on. Look at this. This is terrible. Being held up there by a clip. Come on. Oh my gosh. Let's see. There are still a few. I'll leave these for as long as I can so that they'll hopefully turn. Grab a couple of these. Oh, I see a good one back there. I'm coming for you. There's always something so sad to me about the garden at the end of the season. Just because, I mean, look at it. It looks terrible. And that's sad because this was once so full of life, although these tomatoes struggled all season, so maybe that's not the best example. But, you know, it's sad. There's something sad about it when it starts to go downhill like this. And instead of being sad, I just have to remember that I got so much abundance from this garden this year. I've got probably 12 gallon Ziploc bags of tomatoes in my freezer that I've just not had time to process. Maybe more. Blessed me abundantly this year, and I'll never forget this garden. And that's the cool thing. I was talking to my friend Carrie the other day, and I had put up an Instagram story basically saying that I had started the detachment process from my garden. Because as soon as it starts to turn, I have to start mentally preparing myself to lose it. And I was telling her about that, and she was like, oh, that's really interesting. And I told her, I said, you really do go through a grief process when your garden is over or ending, where you have to process it. And I thought to myself, I did some self-reflection on that conversation afterwards, and I thought, you know, I think some people would think or say that, like, why you're going to have it next year. Like, it's not going anywhere. Why would you grieve it? I'll never have this garden again. The garden that I had this year, I'll never have again. The garden that I had last year, I'll never have again. The garden that I had my very first year, 3 years ago, I'll never have again. Each garden is different. Each garden is unique. Each garden is set up differently, produces differently, gives you different surprises and blessings. And no two gardens, even if it's the exact same space, are ever the same year to year. So I'm grieving this garden. Yes, I'll be able to plant this space again next year, I assume, unless something changes. And that's great, and I look forward to that. But this garden, I'm going to grieve it. I'm going to process that. I'm going to reflect on it, be grateful for everything that it gave me, and acknowledge the fact that I'll never come back to this garden ever again. So yeah, there's a bit of a grief there. There's a bit of a processing that needs to be done. And I spend time out here, especially as I'm cleaning it up, kind of thanking it and acknowledging it and committing it to memory, because even the past 2 garden seasons, I remember them. I remember good things about them, bad things about them. I remember where I had things planted, how they did, the joy that I had in eating and preserving those foods. I remember them. I remember them. So I want to remember this one too. Can we take a moment in the middle of this video to talk about one of the companies that I've partnered with? Excuse me, sir. I am working. I cannot play with you right now. Mama's working. Go lay down for a second. I'll play, but in a second. Go lay down. Go lay down. It's just always chaos over here. Yeah, one of the companies that I have partnered with, and I've actually been partnered with them since my parents bought their property back in November, December time, is Hisea. And I really love their products, and I'm glad to be partnered with them. And they reached out to me probably like a month ago now. I should have made this video forever ago, but here we are, probably a month ago, maybe a little more, and said, hey, we want to send you some new shoes. What do you want? And I said, garden clogs, please, because I am such a fan of garden clogs. I absolutely love being able to throw on a shoe that is water resistant, that I know isn't going to get my socks wet when I'm outside working in the chicken coop, working in the garden, mowing the lawn, because I come out first thing in the morning and the grass is always wet, and I hate wet socks. So I love garden clogs, and I also love them because they're breathable, they're light. I don't always want to put boots on, especially in the summertime. I definitely don't want to put boots on. But they did also send me boots as well, because we are getting into the fall and then soon the winter season. So I have 2 pairs of shoes to show you. But I'm going to show you the clogs first because they're the ones that I'm wearing this morning. This is they have so many different colors, but I chose the black with the polka dots because I like it perfectly matches what I'm wearing, and I like being matchy. And you can see there, Hisea. This is such a good quality. It's got good tread, and it's very waterproof. Trust me, it's very waterproof. And I like it because I've gotten garden clogs from other places, just like little local stores and stuff, and they do the job, but 2 things: they fall apart really quick, and they also are just really uncomfortable because based on the nature of being waterproof, they can feel very boxy and plasticky and not comfortable. Not with my Hisea ones. They're so comfortable, so breathable, but they also keep my feet. These are not meant to keep your feet super warm, but they do keep my feet somewhat warm, but not so warm that it's uncomfortable in the summertime. But I'm out here this morning and it's cold and my feet are not cold, so that's good. But they're comfortable, and I'm glad. So highly recommend their garden clogs if you are also a garden clog kind of person. And then for the boots, I already have a pair of boots. You know what? Let me grab them just so I can show you multiple. These are the boots they sent me last year. They are well loved. Well loved. These are waterproof. These are meant to keep your feet warm. And these are phenomenal boots. Absolutely love them. I have a video where we toured my parents' new farm property, and they have a creek, a big creek, and I walked all the way through it with my boots and my feet stayed totally dry. Waterproof is really important to me with a farm shoe, because I'm just getting wet all the time with various cleaning and watering and etc. And waterproof really matters to me because, again, I hate wet socks so much. And so those boots are fantastic. But then they said, can we send you another pair of boots? And I thought to myself, I already have such a great utility pair. How about I get something cute? Because that's the thing about Hisea. Not only do they have shoes that are like very good from a utility farm standpoint, but they've got cute ones too. So they sent me these. So cute. Of course, I had to get the green. Green's my favorite color, but they do also have other colors. And I've only worn them a few times, but they have great tread. These are serious. I mean, for being so cute, they're also just really good utility boots. You could also wear these as outside farm boots too if you wanted to, but I like having a nice pair. And these have been looking so cute with just like jeans and a t-shirt, or you could dress them up and do jeans and like a nice button down or something, like a nice flannel or something. So cute. And I've been really enjoying them in this early fall season. Tom and I are going to be going, doing some fall activities this weekend, probably some apple picking. You know, we have a couple farms here where we always go and get like cider donuts and look at their animals and stuff, just fall stuff. And I'll definitely be wearing these for that. So it's so cool now that I've got 3 great pair of Hisea shoes, my tall utility boots, my garden clogs, and then a pair of boots that are just really cute and fun, but still great quality. So I highly recommend Hisea products. You can get, I have a code, Faith and Arrow, for $15 off their entire website. So whatever products you choose, there is no restrictions on that, $15 off their entire website. I'll have the link to just their website down in the description, and I'll also link these particular products down there if you're interested in these specific ones. But take a look at what they've got. They've got a lot of really cute stuff. Good morning, friends. So this is very impromptu, and I'm just going to throw it in this video because this was kind of vloggy anyway. I did something really last minute. I look rough this morning because I just got home from an overnight with my patient. I've been with him, it's almost 8 o'clock in the morning, and I've been with him since 5 p.m. yesterday. And as I was driving home this morning, it's Saturday, I noticed what time it was, and I thought, the farmer's market is open. It was a little after 6, and I think the farmer's market opens at 5 or 6 in the morning. So I thought, and it's always crazy busy on Saturday. I was driving past it on my way home, so I very impulsively last minute decided to go, and I'm so glad I did. I was there at I think I got there at 6:15, 6:20 in the morning. It was already so packed, but the sun was rising, and it was such a vibe. I've never been at the farmer's market during that hour, and it was magical. It was just so cool to be in an area with vendors. People are hustling and bustling, and it's good morning, how are you, what are you looking for, how can I help you, be blessed, have a great day, enjoy your Saturday. Just all of that, just such good vibes. It was so magical. I'm so glad I went. But I went with a purpose. Although I did go impulsively, I knew that I had been needing to go. And that's why I was kind of well, since I'm out this way, let me go ahead and go. And so I already had a list going in my mind of things that I wanted. There were 2 purposes behind a lot of these purchases. Some of this is for canning that you're going to see, and some of it is for winter storage, and I'll tell you each. I'm going to start out by telling you I did something so sad. I'm so sad. I took $60 out of the ATM. That was what I gave myself to spend this morning. But what you see here is $50 worth of stuff. Not 60, because I bought a huge bag of onions, like this bag of onions, but times, I think it's 4 of these. Huge bag of onions. But I had already gone to my car and back twice with the apples and the tomatoes, and I wanted to finish looking around. So I asked the guy if he would hang on to them for me. I paid him for them, and I said, will you actually just hang on to these and I'll come back and get them? Totally forgot. So I left a giant $10 bag of onions at the farmer's market. So sad. That's so tragic. I don't know that it's worth it. I know that it's not worth it for me to go back, because at this point, with it being almost 8 o'clock, I'm not going to be able to find a parking spot. It's going to be a madhouse. And I would have to drive all the way back to the city. So, sad. That's okay. It is what it is. And I'm glad to have given the money to, it's not the same as doing that at a grocery store. I basically donated $10 to that farm. That's fine. But anyway, what you see here is $50 worth of stuff. In the front here, you see this humongous bag of tomatoes. Look at this baby. I can't tell you sizes. I'm not good at that. A bushel, I don't know. I don't know what you would use to quantify that, but that huge bag of tomatoes, I spent $25. That was number one on my list because I want to can salsa. The issue with salsa is that I want to be able to can a lot of it, and my tomatoes don't come in all at the same time like that, and I don't want to use freezer tomatoes to can salsa. I don't know that you even would really be able to. They don't hold their integrity the same after they've been frozen. All of my tomatoes are in the freezer. I did can one batch of salsa, a small batch, earlier. I think I got like 6 jars. So all those tomatoes you see there, that's all going to be salsa because I have tons of onions and I have tons of peppers. And then while I was there, I got a bunch of cilantro, one bunch, and that was $1. So that's cool. So I've got everything that I need to can a whole bunch of salsa. The only thing is, for both the salsa and for some of the other things that you're going to see me talk about, I want half-pint jars. I could eat a half pint of salsa a day. I love canning it in half pints because I'm the only one that eats it. It's the perfect size for me to just scoop out with chips. I love, love, love it. I'm out of half pint jars. So Tom and I are busy today. We're going out and doing a bunch of stuff. So I'm going to ask him if he can't swing me by one of the stores that sell jars so I can buy a couple packs of half pint jars. I can't believe how lucky I got with these apples. This is a big bag of apples. It says on here half bushel, so that must be. These are seconds. And it is all the apples up top here are Honeycrisp. And then you can see down below that there are some other varieties that are in here. For being seconds, they look amazing. And I got this bag of apples for $5. I couldn't believe it. She was one of the first people that I spoke with this morning. And she was so nice. And she was like, I was asking her about her prices. And she pointed them out and said $5. And I said, I'm sorry, $5? She was like, well, they're seconds. I'm like, I'm using them for apple butter. She was like, oh yeah, perfect. So that was my steal for the day. And honestly, that makes up for the $10 that I lost because everywhere else that I looked, these bags were no less than $15. And I got this bag for $5. So there you go. This was the very last thing that I purchased on the way out. The onions that I had bought that I left were not going to be storage onions. It was a huge bag of what he called cooking onions, and they were kind of seconds. They were small and puny. They likely were not going to store very well. I was going to try to use them up in canning recipes, in cooking, and whatever I didn't get through, I was going to chop and freeze. So they weren't my storage onions. I bought these to be storage onions. This was $5, this bag, and I literally was walking to my car with $5 in my hand. He made eye contact with me, asked me how I was. I asked him how much the onions were. He said $5. It was meant to be. It was perfect. So I'm excited about that because my onions, I have a ton of onions that I harvested from my garden, but they are also not storage onions. And in fact, many of them have already sprouted. So I'm going to use those in canning recipes and chop up whatever's left to put in the freezer, and these will be my storage onions. So hopefully that's enough onions to get me through at least the next few months. I think it will be, but I use a lot of onions. Next, we have pears. So this is a bag of pears. Bosch pears. Every year I can something called salted caramel pear butter. It is a ball canning recipe. I'll link it down in the description because they have it on their website. And I give it for Christmas gifts, or sometimes it's actually pretty hard for me to part with it as Christmas gifts because it's just so good. And my favorite thing to use it for is the filling for cinnamon rolls. I mean, just think about that for a second. It's ridiculous. So I got enough here to can at least one batch of that, so that'll be good. And then in here, I have grapes, Concord. They smell so good and so grapey. If you have been watching my videos this summer, you know that I canned a batch of grape jelly. I usually do jam, but with grape I wanted to do jelly. It was my first time canning a jelly. And I did it because my neighbor gave me some grapes that I didn't get around to eating, so I used them to make jam. And I just got like 3 jars, I think. And we've already gone through it. It's fantastic. I'm definitely adding grape jelly to my must-can list going forward. Being in Western New York, we have grapes grow easily here, and in Niagara, it's kind of grape country, so they're around and easy to get your hands on. So I think I paid $5 for this bag, and I think I paid $6 for the pears. And then in here, these are more apples. These are a Gala apple. These are not seconds. I don't remember if it was $3 or $5. It was probably $5 for these. After asking the guy what apple, because I mean it was an apple vendor, so he had apples on apples on apples. I said, which variety is the best for storage? And he said, Empire, Gala, and Fiji. And I said, which of the 3 are the sweetest? And he said, Gala. So I am going to keep these in the Breezeway refrigerator, which I am converting to cold storage. And I'm going to do a whole separate video on that. There aren't that many. These aren't going to last me that long. But in the winter time, I try to still get my fruit and vegetable. And I love apples for that because they store in the fridge really well. And when I want a snack like apples with peanut butter or something like that, I just grab one of these. And it's a great way for me to get some produce in my diet during the winter time. I probably should have bought 2 of these now that I'm looking at it because it's really not that many apples, but it's better than nothing. And then the last thing that I purchased, and I told him don't worry about putting it in a bag, so I'm just gonna, I have a bunch of garlic. I did not grow garlic this year, meaning I did not plant it last fall for harvest this year. The Lord blessed me with some surprise heads of garlic from heads that I did not harvest the year before on accident. And I talked about that in one of my videos this year, but it's already gone. I've already used it. I go through garlic and onions so fast in this house because I just do so much cooking, and onions and garlic just offer so much flavor. So I knew that I wanted to get some. This still isn't going to be enough to get me through the winter, but it's a start, and then I can supplement from the grocery store. But I definitely wanted to get a jump on some of this stuff. So I'm going to be canning salted caramel pear butter. I'm going to be canning apple butter. There's a recipe in one of my canning books for apple cider butter, and you use apple cider in it, and that just sounds amazing. So I think I'm going to try that. I'm canning grape jelly and salsa, and then these apples, the garlic, and those onions are meant to be for storage. Yeah, so I feel really good about that. Again, I paid $50 for all of this, and it's all really good quality, locally grown. I don't know that it's all organic, but really great quality produce, and I'm really excited about that. So I just wanted to come and share it with you because I'm constantly talking about eating well and eating local on a budget, and that's the most pushback that I get from people is, well, that's all fine and good, but the average person can't afford to do that. And trust me, I get it. I think it's by design that we are so financially squeezed right now. Hardly anybody can afford anything, and I understand that, but this is just all I'm going to do is subtract $50 from my grocery budget. I'll go a little lighter on the other things that I would purchase from the grocery store in lieu of having this. And this is great quality stuff that I'm going to use to feed us, for months. And yeah. Also, I can tell you now, since I've announced roughly where I live because of the church, and now that I live in Rochester, New York, I can tell you about the public market. I've always just used the vague term farmer's market when I talk about it. I'm always talking about the public market. If you are anywhere in this area, in the area of Rochester, New York, and you've not been to the public market, you're missing out. It's incredible. It's the nicest farmer's market I've ever been to in my life. I love going. They have this little coffee shop, and that's where me and my mom and dad sat down one morning a couple of years ago now and started discussing the idea of living together and having a farm together, which is what we've always been working towards. And it's holds such great memories for me. It's such an amazing place, and I love it there so much. So if you're able to go check it out, you definitely should. But yeah, I'm going to go ahead and end this video because I don't know if there's anything else I'm going to throw in this one. I'm not going to film any of this canning because I'm tired and I just need to get it done. I'm going to go ahead and make the salsa this morning because I can just keep it in my stock pot and put it in the fridge, and I can can it probably tomorrow morning after I get my jars. So yeah, I'll link the recipes, the ones that I can, down in the description for you though. So thanks so much for hanging out with me while we kind of go through this like fall garden prep, food prep kind of situation here. I can't wait to see you in my next video. Have faith and keep moving forward. Bye.